Hey everyone, it's Chris. I'm back again with another tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at logo design and type treatment. I got a few requests on my character design tutorial to create a logo from start to finish, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So go ahead and open up Adobe Illustrator if you don't have it open already and import your images that you're going to use. And to import your images, you'll just go over to File, Place. You'll locate your images wherever you have them stored. You'll select them and hit place. Since I already have mine imported into my document, I'll hit cancel. Next, I'm going to select my images and hit Command 2 or Control 2 if you're on PC, and that will just lock them off. I'll then come over to my layers panel and rename my layer to reference and hit OK. I'll also create a new layer and rename that one drawing, since that's the layer I'm going to be doing the vector drawing on, and hit OK. I'll then turn on my grid by hitting Command apostrophe, and then I'll bring up the grid, and that's Control apostrophe if you're on PC. And as you can see, that brought up my grid. My grid might look a little different from yours. That's because I have mine set to the exact amount of points I need to create the logo for my tutorial. But if you would like to adjust your grid, you can go to your Illustrator preferences, guides and grid, and this grid every option box, you can input a number there and it will adjust the size of the squares for your grid. Larger numbers will make the squares larger, smaller numbers will make them smaller. Once you're happy with an amount, you can hit OK, and we'll go to View and just make sure Smart Guides and Snap to Grid are turned on. Once those are turned on, we're all set to go. So I'm going to zoom in here and get started. So I'm going to select the ellipse tool because, as you can see in this particular logo or type treatment, I have a lot of rounded portions to it. So just like in the character design tutorial, we'll start off with the basic shapes. So with this ellipse, I'm going to select a nice bright color so I can see it. Just make sure I have it selected still, and I will adjust the stroke weight to a 2-point stroke so it's easy to see. I'll then copy and paste in front of by holding down Command C, Command F, or Control C, Control F, and that will copy and paste in front of, and there we have our basic shape for the first part of the lettering. So as you can see, I just drag a duplicate over, and to drag a duplicate, just make sure object is selected and you hold down Option, and I'm just holding down Shift to constrain it to a particular axis, and we'll do it again. Just make sure it's selected and holding down Option again to drag another duplicate, and oops, one more time here. Now for this one, I'm going to shrink the circle down, drag it into the right position, and I'll create a smaller circle by copying and pasting in front of, like so. Now also do it for this one here. Okay. Copy, paste in front of, like so. Make sure I have this selected, drag a duplicate, and there. Next, I'll grab my white arrow tool. Keyboard shortcut for that is A, and get rid of the points I don't need. So, like that, and that. This and this one and this one. Okay, so I've skipped ahead a little bit and got rid of all the unnecessary points on the ellipse shapes, and I'm going to use the pen tool to complete the rest of the letters. So I'll hit P to bring up the pen tool and just connect all of the necessary points. And as you can see, this is where the having that snap to grid option turned on really comes in handy, because I'm able to connect all of the points without having to hold shift to constrain everything. Everything is lining up as it should, or like I want it to. And I'm just keeping everything precise. Everything's staying precise like it needs to be. So, got that created. I'll grab this shape here, or these two strokes. I'll change the stroke color to something a little different. And I'll bring it in front of this object by hitting Command right bracket, or Control right bracket if you're on PC. Hitting P for the pen tool again, and just completing this shape. Okay, I'll drag this back over into position, grab the pen tool again, and complete the shape. Okay, next I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and just drag it up here. I'm going to grab the white arrow tool, so keyboard shortcut is A, and just drag that point down to match the angles. Just drag that back into position. And the next thing I'm going to do before I create these shapes here is just to adjust the points here. Just going to move this down one, move this point, or these 2 points, down one, move this down a little bit. And since I've done that, just go ahead and move everything back into place like I need to. And I think that should be fine there. Okay, and now I'll create these shapes, but I want it to match this angle, so going to do that so it does, and drag that into place. But I'm going to move it up just a little bit there, because I kind of want this to have the same angle and not be stair-stepped. Okay, and I'll just make a duplicate by copying and pasting in front of and turning this the opposite direction and dragging there. Okay, so that's this one here. Now we'll do this one. Okay, so I'm going to create the other basic shape, which is a rectangle for that part. I'll paste in front of, rotate to that point. Okay, copy paste in front of, and move this into position. Oops, copy paste in front of. There we go. And I'm going to make a few slight modifications to the drawing, but the outcome will still be the same. So I'll grab the pen tool again and just connect the necessary shapes, or finish the shapes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take these 2 circles here and come down to my Pathfinder and hit the subtract or minus front key or button, and if the Pathfinder isn't visible for you, just go to Window, Pathfinder, and this option box or panel should show up. Okay, and to make sure it did its job, I'm just going to hit Shift X to swap stroke and fill, and it did. So for the most part, all of this is already set like I need it to be. So I'm going to swap the stroke and fill for the rest as well. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is actually swap stroke and fill for that one more time. I'm going to subtract this piece here. So what I'm going to do is create a small rectangle, just make it a different color, swap stroke and fill, so I just want to be able to see there, and I will just add these two shapes together by hitting the unite key and taking this shape and subtracting from that. Okay, now I will select all of these points and move them in to match the spacing here. Okay, and lastly, for this portion, what I'll do is drag a duplicate of this, turn it around like so, Shift X to swap stroke and fill, and line this up. Okay, and now I will add all of those together, or make sure I have everything. Add all of those together like so, and going to grab this point, move it down, and I just want to make sure that those angles line up, and they do. Okay, and now I'm going to get rid of all of the unnecessary points. So I'll hit P for the pen tool and just clean up my vector a little bit by getting rid of points that aren't needed. Okay, so that's that, and I'll do the same here, except I will hit the eyedropper tool, keyboard shortcut is I, and match the colors there. So I'll select everything and just swap stroke and fill, Shift X. Okay, and once again we're going to tweak this one as well, just adjust a few things. So white arrow tool, and I'm just going to play around with the spacing there and grab both of these, and I think I'm okay with how this looks. Alright, so I'll take this, combine everything, and I think we're done with that. Now, it's not the best looking logo, but you get the idea. Those are some of the principles. So that's the first one. Now we'll get ready to go to this one. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and create this logo here. So the first thing we're going to do is center it up and zoom in. Okay, and then we will start off with the shape. And I could start off with the basic shape, which would be a rectangle, and adjust the points. But I think I will go ahead and use the pen tool and create the shape for this one. So I am holding down Shift for this, and let's swap the stroke and fill so we can see what's going on. And as I said, I am holding down Shift to get the angles I'm wanting. And now, you know what, as you can see, this doesn't match up with my reference, but that's okay. I just needed the reference to get me started. So what I'm going to do now is just use the white arrow tool and adjust it to my liking. So let's see, I think, yeah, I'll do, I want it 4 across, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and make it 4 across here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's good, and I'm going to pull this up and grab these points here and move this, oops, this point here, and move this down just a little bit like that. Okay, so I'll hit P for the pen tool and close off this bottom portion, by creating a little shape there. Okay, now I will select everything, copy, paste in front of. So Command C, Command F, or Control C, Control F to paste in front of, and whoops. Grab everything, rotate it around the opposite direction, and make sure I have everything selected again, and move everything into place. And we'll move it up just a little bit more. Let's see. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. Well, move it down one more. Like that. Okay? Then I'm going to take this piece here, just move it a little bit, and adjust it to match this edge. Okay? Get the selection tool, copy, paste in front of, move this down just a tad bit, and take my white arrow tool and grab these points and adjust as needed to finish my shape. Okay, that looks good to me. So I will select everything with the selection tool, Shift X to swap stroke and fill, and that creates the shape I need. Okay, so this time I'm actually going to use the rectangle tool and create a rectangle for my desired shape. Now I'll go ahead and change the color of this so I can see what's going on. Alright, white arrow tool again, grab the desired point and just match the angle here like I'm doing. Okay, and move this up along the same angle, so I want to keep the angle. Okay, and I'm going to adjust the points to where I need them to go. That should be okay. So now I'll select this, grab the eyedropper tool by hitting I, select the same color, okay, and now I will drag this down, white arrow tool again, and adjust my points. Now adjust these points as well, move these into place. I want to make sure this falls along the same angle, so I'll move this up to match, place it, and have it travel the same angle. Okay, grab these points here with the white arrow tool, move them up like so, and I think that should be okay for this shape here. And now what I'll do is copy, paste in front of, move my copy to right about there, and then adjust this shape to what I'm looking for. And I think that'll be okay. Okay, so now I will select everything, combine the objects, zoom back in, hit P, and get rid of all these unnecessary vector, or the points on my vector object, and just clean it up a bit. Okay, once I do that, zoom out again, I'll create a copy and paste in front of, rotate it, and put it in position. So hopefully you can read what this says. It's supposed to say flip, and the reason I did this was because hold on a second, I'll combine the object. I wanted to create the logo so you can rotate it all sorts of ways and it will say the same thing. So if I rotate it around 180 degrees, it will say the same thing. Okay, so now that I've done that, the very last thing I'm going to do is come to Effect, Stylize, Round Corners, and a 4-point radius will do. And if you want to see what the results will be, just check the preview box. And I think a 4-point radius is going to do it for me, so I'll hit OK. And I'll take a look at it. So now I don't have these super sharp pointy corners here. And I'll take this, or select the object, go to Object, Expand Appearance. So now that rounded corners isn't an effect anymore, it's actually built into the vector. So that's basically it for the tutorial as far as the lettering goes. But I will show you one last thing that I kind of like to play around with, and that's kind of a cool effect I learned a little while ago. So I'll drag a duplicate, change the color here. I think that'll be fine. I will copy, paste in front of, and move my copy up and over some, like that. Change the color of this one to something a little more golden. I'll just copy this object for now, and I'll select both of these and come to Object, Blend, Blend Options. Now, default will have it set at smooth color, so set it to specified steps and change the specified steps from 8 to 100 and hit OK. Then go back to Object, Blend, and hit Make. And what that did was blend the orange vector and that goldish vector and created this nice extruded look here. And you can leave it like that if you like that look, but what I'm going to do is change it all to that reddish gold color or something similar to that. So we'll choose that color. Okay, and I will drag that color to the stroke as well. Bump up the stroke weight to something like 10. Okay, and I will go to Object, Expand, hit OK, Object, Expand. Okay, so I don't think it did anything else. Okay, yeah, it did. Okay, select all of that, hit Unite, and it might take a while here, but hopefully it gives me the effect I'm looking for. So it's just taking a little bit. Okay, so after expanding and hitting the Unite key, or the Unite button in the Pathfinder, it just gave me one solid vector here. And I'm going to hit Command F to paste the last object I copied in front of, and I get this nice vector extruded text look, which is what I wanted. And that will conclude the tutorial. So I hope you guys have learned something from me today, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I look forward to creating more. And if you have any tutorial ideas or things you would like to learn or maybe see in a tutorial, please leave me a comment. in the comment section below, and I will try to do my best to answer any questions or create a tutorial on any ideas you have. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.